Steve Mariucci here on his usual Mondays with Mooch spot. How are you, Mooch?
Hi, Rich. Good morning. No word out of Cincinnati. That's strange.
Not yet. Not yet.
I mean, they said it was broken yesterday, didn't they?
Well, I mean, broken thumb, that's bad news. And I know they might be holding out hope that he could return sometime in January. But it looks like this is A.J. McCarron's gig, Steve.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, and then A.J. mentioned that Tom Brady got his chance when somebody got hurt, too. I'm not sure it's going to be the same. God, what a tough break for these guys, no pun intended. But A.J. McCarron's been around a little bit. He's not a rookie. San Francisco's, they're not playing very well, but they have a heck of a defense. And so this is going to be interesting. And then, of course, they're at Denver. And that's going to be a doozy for the bye. They're fighting for the bye.
Right, A.J. McCarron versus Brock Osweiler for the right to have a bye week in the same conference as Tom Brady. That doesn't seem to be a fair fight, Steve.
Yeah, who'd have thunk it, But Brock he looked pretty human yesterday, pretty pedestrian, to be honest with you.
Well, it certainly didn't help that Demaryius Thomas drops a third down pass, and a fourth down one was hit Vernon Davis wide open right in the breadbasket in the middle of the field, Steve. Didn't help out there.
I know, and he threw for a lot of yards, but he threw more than they want to with the Brock Osweiler. They didn't run the ball, Rich. They had 34 yards rushing. He can't win when they just run the ball for 34 yards. That was once in a while the problem when Peyton was playing. They abandoned the run. Try to throw it all the time, and they're not built that way. They have to run the ball for Brock Osweiler to be successful under center with all the keeps and play action that they want to do. Get back to the run game.
Did you ever have a receiver who is as good as Demaryius Thomas that all of a sudden had a case of the dropsies? Did you ever have anything like that?
Do you remember in 1998, Rich, we're playing a playoff game, 49ers against the Packers. Terrell Owens dropped 4 passes in that game, and it was like, oh my God! And then he ended up making the winning catch.
Right.
Owens, that catch where we won the game right at the end.
Right.
And Steve Young had to stay with him. Thank God he did, because sometimes quarterbacks get a little ticked off and they go, "I'm not throwing you the ball anymore. You're nuts today." But Terrell Owens dropped 4 in that game before that big catch.
Is there something a coach can do or say, or you just stay away because everybody knows?
It's almost like you stay away, maybe pat him on the butt or something. But especially a guy who's been good, If a guy's been terrible, you go, "Listen, one more catch and you're gonna be in a bus." But if a guy's been good, you kind of let him get out of it. Maybe give him a word of encouragement. It's like, keep playing. Don't worry about it. Next one. That kind of baloney.
Now, I know, Mooch, you said it on this show last Monday, and you said it on Game Day Morning yesterday when asked about which of the 3 teams at 10-2 battling for the bye in the AFC would prevail, and you said New England right from the get-go. And now you didn't expect it to be this quick, though, with Dalton down for maybe the rest of the season. I mean,
I know that's a shame, boy. They just got to find a way as a team, to play like a team with a young quarterback. Play great defense, which they can. They've got to run the ball, which they can, and help this young guy out. He threw the pick 6 on a screen. That was kind of a doofus play. He's got to eliminate the huge mistake and just be steady. Be a game manager, whatever that is. But, yeah, all of a sudden, Bengals and Broncos are fighting for the bye, and the Patriots look like the Patriots.
Do you think
Gronk's back, and here comes Edelman, too?
Do you think at all Kubiak might be thinking, let's try it out with Peyton Manning in any stretch, or you think that's toast?
You know what? I'm guessing, but I will say if the Broncos go to Pittsburgh and get beat, okay, and Brock Osweiler just looks very pedestrian again. Is that the sign of the times? It's coming up with these big games, these tough games. I think he would maybe consider, hey, Peyton, how's the foot? Because Brock started off a house of fire. He was he won the first 3 games, and everybody said, Peyton who? And now, reality might be setting in a little bit. And this at Pittsburgh game for the Broncos is going to be very telling, because this is a playoff game, essentially. And Brock has to play better than he did.
Well, I mean, and I think right now, Steve, if you look at the rest of the AFC, the 2 teams that could give them the toughest go of it, with all due respect to the Jets, I know the Jets have gotten on a little bit of a roll here. It's Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Because Kansas City was a team that sent New England on to Cincinnati last year. And Pittsburgh can just light it up in a manner that not even New England's able to do. They've gone 5 straight games without 30 points being scored. Would you agree with that assessment, or you think that there's a possibility that one of the other 2 teams, Cincinnati and Denver, could get it together in January?
Yeah, the 2 teams you're talking about, the Chiefs, I mean, they could very well enter the playoffs on the 10-game win streak. Can you believe that?
Right.
And be seeded 5th. And the Steelers are hot. That's a scary team. Cincinnati had a chance to just put a fork in them and maybe eliminate them or almost eliminate them from the playoffs, and didn't do it, couldn't do it. But don't discount your Jets, Rich. They're pretty darn good, and 8-5, and if Fitzpatrick just keeps taking care of the ball, and they've got a couple of heck of receivers, Decker and Brandon Marshall, and their defense is so talented. Mm-hmm. They're very quietly becoming that scary team. That's why we love the NFL, because I don't know if parity exists. I don't know. The good teams stay good and the bad teams are still struggling for the most part. But the middle of the pack teams that are so comparable make it really interesting all the way through December. Year after year, it's fantastic. And I like the way that the NFL has scheduled the division games at the end, because this is really getting juicy. I mean, you look at the NFC East, and it's a terrible division, but they're all playing each other here coming up. It's going to sort out at the very end. Steve
Mariucci joining me here in the couple minutes I have with you left here, Steve. The Green Bay Packers, can we just say that McCarthy's a better play caller than Tom Clements, or say that the mix is better, or really it's just they played a Dallas Cowboys team that could be beat yesterday?
Yeah, probably all of the above. We all know Mike McCarthy's a heck of a play caller. He's done it very well for many years, for a decade, okay? And then they tried the other guy, and so they seem to be a little bit out of whack for a lot of different reasons, defense, offense, you name it. It just that's how it was. But he took it back, played in the rain. It was 58 degrees over there. It was the warmest December temperature ever in Lambeau. I don't know. I don't want to get into global warming, Rich, but it was warm. But it was raining, and you know what? They ran the football. And that was what presented itself. That was what was necessary. So play calling is important, but you prepare the game plan sheet during the week as a staff, and you call the game off the game plan sheet, and you adjust accordingly. And they adjusted for the rain, for the score of the game, and Eddie Lacy's back, and James Starks is a great complimentary back. And they just played smash mouth, and you don't usually do that with Aaron Rodgers, but they did.
Before I let you go, read him the poll question, Brockman. Go ahead, richeisenshow.com. The poll question as it currently stands right now.
Hey, Mooch, who's the best team in the National Football League? The Cardinals, the Panthers, the Patriots, or the Seahawks?
Put the Seahawks in there. They're on fire.
Oh, you put the Seahawks in there,
Russell
too, huh?
Wilson's on fire right now, Steve. On fire.
And am I hesitating? That's a tough question, because you have this 13-0 team, Panthers, that are out of their mind. I love the way Cam plays the game. You know what? He has fun, Rich, and you know what? That's what you're going to tell your kids. Watch these guys have fun at what they do. Whatever they do, have fun with it. And then Cam Newton is a prime example of that. Patriots, they're always good, and here we go again. And you're going to make me pick one. I can't pick the Seahawks yet, but they're really getting our attention. So I'm going to go with the Panthers, because in all 3 phases they're spectacular, and of course no blemishes on the record.
Click it, and what do you have? What's the results right now?
42% agree with you, Mooch. They say the Panthers. Seahawks 26%.
Wow.
Patriots 17%. Cardinals no love.
No
15%.
love for the Cardinals. We had Tyrann Mathieu on before. What a good kid, Steve. He's totally turned his life around.
He really is, huh? You had him on already, you said?
I did, yes. Yeah. He's talking about just how he's turned his life around, but he wakes up every day with reminders about what used to happen. So,
really?
Yeah, he's just a good kid.
I know Dion's forged a relationship with him, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steve, you take care of yourself. We'll chat soon. I'll see you in St. Louis, right? I'll see you in St. Louis.
I will see you there, Rich. We're going to travel again on Thursday. I love it.
Yeah, we'll be there in St. Louis. We're taking the show back on the road for the last 2 Thursday night games. St. Louis this weekend. Appreciate it. That's Steve Mariucci.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.